Hello and welcome once again to the Varlastan Circle, a DnD5e adventure in a homebrew setting brought to you by Penance RPG, an actual play podcast and Twitch variety stream. You can find out more about Penance RPG at penancerpg.com or in the stream information below. I'm Lunrwolf, an occasional variety streamer and creator of the Varlastan setting. I'll be guiding our cast through the trials that await them. Aria.
Hello. I am Dragon. I am playing Ari Ad. She is an Asimir ranger. She generally believes in the circle, or rather, she believes that most people are fundamentally decent. And obviously, therefore, the circle probably are as well. Finding this new stuff last session has rattled her a bit. Not entirely certain of how much she should be trusting anyone at the moment.
Okay. Silic.
Hello, I'm Eden. I'm playing Silic, the Turtle Paladin. And yeah, the events of last time, witnessing a vision was Silic's thing, and given he's a paladin and quite staunchly stuck to the ideals of Armand and the Circle, what he witnessed has certainly put a knot in his stomach, and pause for thought is, well, dominating his mind. Less of a pause, more of a complete full stop, let's have an internal panic and try and pull ourselves together kind of moment. So yeah, that's where he's at.
Okay. Jack.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm playing Jack. He is our little happy-go-lucky gnome. Jack just thinks that they've kind of met some new people and that they're just going to be meeting some new friends. So he's not 100% sure what's going on. He just thinks it's a nice thing.
Okay. And Timidar.
Hey, everybody, it's me, AJ. I'm playing Timidar, a Dragonborn wizard. I had to check that for a second. And Mama didn't raise me to trust no fucking jars, so that's where I'm at.
Okay.
No further details.
That's reasonable. So, last session, you had just finished breakfast and were deciding what you were going to do. Do you need any refreshers, or are you happy to work out what you're doing from here?
I think we were working out getting to finding where places were on this map that corresponded to our world, weren't we?
Sounds about right. I vaguely remember that we were having breakfast and studying the pieces of the label, and yeah, trying to triangulate local landmarks to that, or something to that effect.
Yeah, were we not trying to find a local map or something that we could compare it to?
Amy, you are almost silent. You're
Okay.
really quiet.
It's right next to my face.
And Greg's quiet as well. Have you
Yeah.
changed that setting, Greg?
No, I've not changed anything. I'll boot myself up here.
Not coming through any quieter than normal on my end, I will say.
I cannot hear anything practically from Amy at all.
Everything's the same up here. I'll boot my mic up in a second. Yeah, we were looking for a local map to like compare it to.
Let's go from there then, I guess.
Pretty sure that, well, the people at the inn we're still at the inn where people like us for saving them from mimics. So
For now. They like us for now.
Oh, Timidar. You're
That was
so
out of character.
negative about people.
Why
That
so
was
sad,
AJ talking there, not
Timidar?
Timidar.
Why so sad?
My sleep was disturbed by a great many things. Jars, not the least, which
How's that? Is that any better?
I
Or do
think
need
it's
to go
more how loudly you are speaking.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Great.
I've dialed you up as far as I dare, Amy.
Okay.
You're still very quiet.
Oh no. I've turned myself off as well. It's just me and my soft spokenness.
Okay. Because we were waiting till it was morning to go and do something. So I'm going to assume that it's morning and that I can go down and ask the innkeeper about a map of the local area.
Let's do that.
Okay,
We do that.
you can do that. That's fine. So you traipse downstairs. And you find Jurek and Gintia behind the bar in conversation. They break off as you approach. Jurek turns to address you. Good morning. Is there something I can help you with?
I was wondering, do you have any maps of the local area?
Maps? No, we don't. We don't have a great deal of need for maps inside the pub. But if you speak to go and speak to Cole, they'll have a set of maps for the area.
Okay.
You'll need to keep an eye on your timings, though. I think I said to you before, Cole keeps quite odd hours for a representative. I'm given to understand. You'll need to get across before they're off hunting.
Oh. Okay. Have you had any complaints of people not being able to sleep last night?
No, I haven't heard anything at all. Apart from somebody was saying some lunatic was throwing things out of a window a bit earlier. So I don't. Unless you heard something of that, then I don't.
No, we didn't hear anything
don't think
about that.
would be it.
No, I thought I must have heard something in my sleep. It's fine.
No bother.
I would like to report some disturbed sleep, though, while we're at it.
Yes, but that was us that disturbed your sleep.
Yes, I just want to report it, that's all. I don't want,
Oh, timid arc.
I don't want it to go unnoted.
I think you might need to keep a personal record of your disturbed sleep.
I do, it's got a title, Revenge List. Nixon
Is our name
style.
on it? Have you put our names on it?
The Revenge List is private, I do not share it with us.
We were probably the first ones on the list.
No, the first one on the list is that bastard crow at that farm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll have a look at it when he's sleeping. Don't worry.
Right. Let's go speak to the representative. But I think we should leave Kuji here. I don't really want to take Kuji along to the circle representative
Yeah, probably a wise idea for her.
because it's going to be easier to not have to explain how someone that's not from here is here. And I don't know how to explain where she's from. So, yeah.
I mean, we could always just say it's from a place that we can't pronounce.
But what if they question her? And honestly, I don't think she wants to deal with people here. Not that I really blame her, in fairness.
Yeah, I can relate.
Okay. Let's go find the representative.
Where
Okay.
can we find him?
Did he have like a building? It was like his office, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember. Was he the one who pointed us towards the pub to begin with? It's been a few weeks.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the representative that pointed you to the pub in the first place.
Right. Okay.
You arrived in the evening, so it was the obvious destination.
Okay. Right. So we haven't spoken to this guy before. That's what you're saying.
No, you haven't spoken to
Okay.
directly.
I'm getting confused between the previous village and this one.
Okay.
Can happen.
Well, I'm assuming at worst the representative will have something up to say that where he is.
The representative's office is always the roundhouse.
Yeah. So let's go to the roundhouse and just go, please.
Silic's notably quiet during all of this. Is just quietly trying to pull his head together, and this talk of keeping something from the circle is certainly... He's got a little bit of a atmosphere about him, let's say. He looks tense and follows at the back of the pack.
Okay.
Jack, noticing this, is gonna like hang back a bit and offer like a little bit of chocolate.
Look, shh, don't tell anybody.
Well, thank you very much, my little friend. And
You look a little
chucks it up
sad.
he snaps it into his mouth after chucking it into the air. He goes, well, I'm a little torn up, I suppose, about what I saw last night. It begs a lot of questions of the circle itself, and if we're to keep things from the circle, such as Kuji, then you must understand I'm a man of faith.
I know, but Kuji's our friend, and they're not a bad person. We just don't
Oh,
want...
but surely the circle's a good group as well. We're part of it. We should let them know exactly what's going on. Do you not agree?
I mean, we kind of know that they'd not really look favorably on, like, how she has maybe other gods and stuff, but she's from a different place. So, really, we should maybe try and get her home first before we tell them all about it, because we don't want her, like, we don't want to trap her here and make her family worry more.
No, certainly not. I wouldn't want to imprison Kuji in any way. But I suppose I will follow along with the group's lead for now, but understand that I'm simply full of conflict at this time. Armand's teachings are all I've ever known, and all we've ever known, but I suppose you didn't see the vision I saw. It begs so many questions.
I'm afraid you got the dream all to yourself. But, yeah, I think we'll be okay. We're just gonna try and get Kuji home. Maybe this map will help us, and we'll find out about these weird fish that keep popping up.
Well, let's go on then. Onwards to the roundhouse.
Could Timidar and I overhear that?
Were you paying a great deal of attention?
Well, I assume we're kind of walking along in a group. I mean,
Yeah, we're kind of meandering out. I mean,
We're at the back of the group.
yeah, let's say that, like, Silic's maybe 5 paces behind, or was 5 paces behind everybody else, kind of, like, dawdling a little bit, just things on his mind.
Well, I suppose at worst would be able to make out that you don't sound happy.
I rolled a 15 on perception. I don't know if that helps.
I think we can safely say that we hear them at that point then.
Yeah. I don't think Silic's got the quietest voice, that's for sure. He's
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So Arya turns round and says to the group, I know it doesn't feel right, but I don't think it's any use if we take them part information anyway. We don't really have anything important to tell them because we don't know what's going on yet.
I suppose, though, what I saw, the vision itself is a portent of something, and if it's the group's will, I will hold my tongue, but yes, I feel that this is something that people in authority ought to know about if there are false gods about and a creature leaving messages for us.
Well, if they need to know, then we can tell them another time. This doesn't mean that we can never tell them.
I will hold my tongue.
Shall I do the talking?
Yes, I suspect it best that I linger at the back as I am. It may become too apparent to an experienced local leader that I am very clearly torn apart and confused in this time and beg many questions of the whole group if this is noticed. So yes, I will stand at the back.
I will too, because it might be something I could sort of lean up against and...
Well, your commentary is quite choice, Timidar. Perhaps, yes, you're right. We should perhaps linger at the rear.
Are you sure Timidar's not just thinking of having a nap?
That
Jack's
was
just
my
gonna-
money on it, certainly.
that I can neither confirm nor deny any nap-based planning that might be going on.
Okay. So you're going to make your way to the roundhouse. That's easy enough to find. Set deliberately apart from the other buildings. The door is open. So you'll be able to just waltz in and introduce yourselves as you see fit.
Jack's gonna knock, open the door, and go in, hello!
Hello? Hello, who are you?
Hello, I'm Jack. This is Aria, even. I was about to say it wrong. And that's Timidar, and that's Silly.
Up.
I see, and you are... Oh, you're a loop squad, are you?
Yes, we are.
Uh-huh.
We were wondering if it would be possible to source a map of the local area.
Yes, of course. I keep maps of all of the surrounding area here. Is there
Excellent.
something in particular you're looking for, or are you just mapping out your destination?
We're trying to work out our destination.
Yes, certainly. Just this table over here. If you can try and make sure it's tidy once you've finished, but I'm happy to leave you to it for the time being. I'll just be over here if you need anything. And she moves
That's
away
great.
to a desk, sits down, and starts writing something that it looks like she was halfway through writing when you knocked.
So we'll all go over and we'll pull out the map that we've kind of... Have we managed to stick it together, or are we all just carrying a piece of the map each?
I think we've just bundled up the pieces.
Okay. So like sit it on the table and then lay it out.
I did mine to memory.
That's
Of
fine,
course you did.
as long as we've still got the physical copy as well. So, can we orientate that map to the maps that are here?
You can certainly try to do so.
Mhm.
Are you trying to conceal what you're doing from Cole?
I wouldn't say we were. I would
Okay.
say we're just kind of like comparing and looking at the pieces and matching them up and maybe standing and like so that she doesn't see over our shoulders, but
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
not
suppose we're just kind of
Yeah.
looking for
but not
common
being
elements,
obvious.
really.
About, yeah.
That's fine. Jack, can you give me a sleight of hand roll with advantage, please?
Is that a D20? I'm just realising I'm not on a character sheet. I'm not on a character sheet. just realized. That's not fair enough.
You can do something distracting if it will help.
That's why there's advantage.
That's fine.
If that's the case, then I will complain about residents of the inn having disturbed sleep and talk of smashing glass in the alleyway behind and that. And I really do think that the local office you ought to put in an investigation into this and that. But of course, we don't have time for this. And I will go on at length about that.
How's your roll, Amy?
I'm trying to find what I need.
You roll a d20, and your modifier is in the second column
Yeah,
of your
that's what I
character
was
sheet.
looking for. 20 plus 5. Come on, computer.
You can do it, computer.
Come on, computer. Now Discord just froze.
Yeah.
If
All
the
going
character
somewhere.
sheet's on D&D Beyond, you can just click the number. But
This is very true.
It's the only,
Now everything's
it's the only problem with doing so few rolls on a per session basis.
Yeah, my computer is being very slow. That's fine. There we go. 13.
And that was the better of 2 rolls,
I was
as you have
just about
advantage.
to ask for that, thank you.
Nope, I put that down. 15.
Okay, 15 it is. Thank you. So you are able to orient your map against the maps provided. You can see that what you are going to need to do is head out of town, following the roads that you were previously on. But you'll then need to take a fork a little way up from this village, and it will take you out and to the east.
Okay.
And that will then bring you down towards another couple of settlements.
so there are elements in common then between the maps. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, between the river and the other directional markings, you can narrow it down to a couple of different settlements in that direction.
Okay. And what is that showing as on the map from the jars?
Sorry, how do you mean?
Like, we're obviously looking for a direction, like a destination on the map from the jars. So what is it? Yeah, what is it shown as on that map compared to?
Okay, the map from the jars only shows.
Is that what you were asking, Dragon? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The map from the jars only shows one town, which is the one
Okay.
with the abandoned observatory in it.
Okay.
But on the map that Cole has provided you with, you can see there are 2 towns. More villages, but they're quite close together. So it's unclear whether
Okay.
the map from the jars is showing them as a single settlement incorrectly, or whether the map's only showing you one of them.
Okay.
Is there anything else that's comparative between the two? Does the map show? I mean, I don't know how complicated this is. Is there elevation? Is there information like that on there? Is there similar rivers and that kind of stuff between the two of them, or are those kinds of landmarks not necessarily marked?
You've been able to trace the river and the roadways, which is what's gotten you that far, but it's not as accurate or as precise as you might wish.
Right.
Well, at least we have a direction now.
Yeah. So the villages that it seems to be directing you towards are called Riverford and Greydale. Riverford is slightly to the south of the roads, whereas Greydale is slightly further east from the road that you're taking.
Okay.
And it looks like it's probably a day or a day and a half's travel to reach the point where you'll then need to pick which of those you're going to move towards.
How far away from each other are they?
They're probably half a day at most. It looks like they're in quite different terrain, but you can't see exactly from the map what that would be.
But they're close enough on the map that they could be shown as one on the other one, is what I'm saying.
It's possible that they're shown as one on the map from the jars because it's more of a more of a notion map rather than an accurate measured map.
Right. Okay.
But it might be that only one of them exists in the other world.
Or it's just a completely different scenario on the other side of the coin, as it were, and these two villages never came to be, and one village did instead.
Yep.
If it's all running in parallel, it's hard to tell at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, is that all the information we could glean from those maps, comparatively speaking? Like, there's nothing else that jumps out as like an obvious point of interest on either of the maps that might necessarily pull our attention in any way?
There's a whole bunch of things marked out on there, in terms of there are lines to indicate where a representative's authority starts and ends, that sort of thing. There's nothing that bears any relationship to any of the things that you've been worrying about so far that you can see.
Okay.
So there's nothing else that's on both maps then?
No, there's nothing else relevant other than the features that you've already used. There's nothing else terribly relevant.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to look for on these maps?
Any convenient rest stops? If you said it was more than a day's travel. No, I'm not. This isn't just Timidar wanting a nap. This is like, you said it was more than a day's travel. Is there a convenient spot for us to stop for the night, or are we going to be camping in a ditch again?
It looks like you're probably going to be finding an impromptu campsite.
Right. It's no little chef or anything.
No. I mean, there might be a halfling somewhere that you can persuade to feed you, but
It's not the same. I want some hash browns.
I mean,
Okay.
I could bake you some.
That would be very nice, actually.
Right.
Is there any sense of what Cole is doing in the room, like while we've been doing this? Are they interested in any way, shape, or form in what we're doing?
on a quick glance, it looks like she's pretty much applying herself to whatever her paperwork is. She may well be keeping half an ear on you, but it's unlikely that she'd pick anything specific out, as far as you can tell.
I was distracting her by making a complaint, I thought. That's why Jack had an advantage.
That was useful for ensuring that she didn't notice you getting the bits of map out and trying to arrange them, yes.
Oh, okay, well, I just assumed I was keeping her attention the whole time.
Yeah.
It will certainly have helped.
And another thing, you better get somebody along to sweep that glass off. Good day to you, madam.
You're so rude. That's our superior.
I said good day.
That's not the point, Timidar.
But it's how you say it.
Gotta be careful.
Good day, madam.
I'm sure that they will be understanding.
I'm sure
I'll
it's
try
not
my
the
best.
first time that Collar's met a Grinch.
Given we're kind of done with the
I'm a
map,
gold, not a green dragonborn.
given the map is kind of done with, Silic's going to look to the to Jack and Araya and kind of scoop up the pieces of paper in front of them with a look in his eyes of like, they haven't seen this, right? And he's scooping it up, putting it into his pocket.
You ain't seen me, right?
It's okay. Just square it away. Just square it away.
And Araya will tidy up all the maps that were there, so that's left nice and tidy for our representative.
Thank you very much, miss.
No, you're very welcome. Did you find everything you needed?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, is there anything else I can do for you before you, I assume you're going to be heading off already?
Yes, we will be. I don't think we need anything. And looks round at the rest of the group.
Does she need anything? Do you need anything, miss?
No, I don't think there's anything locally pressing at the moment.
Oh, that's good then.
No, I don't think there's anything at all just now.
Okay. Thank you for your help, ma'am.
Have a good day.
Thank you for your
Justice
service
Gordon.
and the blessing of Almond upon you all.
And you.
Blessings of Armand. Gives a kind of graven nod of the head.
Seeing that, Jack's gonna be like, "Come on, Silic. Come on. Outside we go."
Yep, let's get out of here.
Good day, madam. Back out, bowing deeply.
I don't have
As I'm out the door, I stand up and turn around and walk off.
Got the
With a group, I'm not just...
You're like that bachelorette quartet or whatever you call them, like going with the hat and the cane, just like making an exit.
Barbershop quartet?
like the I can't like
I know what
Dick
you're
Van
talking
Dyke.
about. It's the bit from Spaceballs when the alien bursts out of John Hurt's chest.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my...
Slightly different feel.
Slightly
Yes,
different.
please.
Okay, right, back to the inn. We need to get Kuji. And do we need to pay for our rooms at the inn?
They didn't
I don't
ask us
think-
to.
I think we killed the mimics. I don't think they're making us pay for our room.
We should perhaps ask on the way out the door.
Yeah.
Just if there's anything we can give them if they need it. Because we don't want to take more, I don't know, than we need to.
You are such a good paladin.
I should have said that in character, really, but still.
Okay. Wait, when we left Kuji, did we leave her in the room? Or is she roaming around the tavern?
We just kind of wandered off.
Her in our room because I think
Yeah,
we
the
had breakfast
implication
in our
was
room.
left in the room, I think.
Okay.
I mean, whether they stayed there or not, that's... we'll find out, but...
We're just awake in an empty room in the dark.
Hello.
Well, Kuji was awake for breakfast, so
Right.
unlike Timidar, can be assumed to still be awake.
Let's go and get him then.
Okay. Back into the inn. Ah. You did you find what you needed from Cole?
Yes, we
Yes,
did. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Will you be extending your stay with us?
I don't think so. It didn't sound like Cole had any tasks for us really in the local area.
Yes, ironically enough, Call didn't have much call for us.
Aha.
A fine wordsmith you are indeed, Sir Paladin. However, it doesn't surprise me that that Cole had nothing immediately pressing. It is very quiet around here. For the most part, our sellers accepted. But no, if you're looking to pack up and head on, that's perfectly reasonable, and we just hope you'll remember us and stop by next time you're passing.
Yes, of course. How much do we owe you for the rooms?
I think we can reasonably consider that a favour returned in kind for the time being.
That is very good of you.
Much appreciated.
No, you're very welcome. I hope that your onward journey is as peaceful as can be in the circumstances. I know it's not necessarily the easiest of lives, the one you're choosing to lead just now.
We trust it shall be uneventful.
Interesting.
Not interesting.
Well, I think it's
interesting
interesting.
and uneventful. The pillars of competition of all loops. I remember it well.
Oh dear. I don't really want it to be too interesting.
I just want to make some new friends on the way.
You always make new friends.
The more friends you have, the more companions you can go around and eat their food. What?
Sidek has a scan around the room. Is Kuji anywhere in the bar right now?
Nope.
Nope.
It would be reasonable to assume that Kuji is still in the rooms, and therefore your bits and bats of stuff have probably not been mysteriously disappeared while you were out of the building.
Let's go grab our stuff then.
Yes, let's attend to our companion and make our way out of this village.
Yeah.
Let's blow this popsicle stand. I heard someone say that once.
I don't think he'd appreciate us blowing up his pub.
Yes, I should hope that none of us come to blows around here.
I feel there's been something lost in the communication here.
That does happen.
I go and get my special. Did I? I can't remember whether I established I had a special pillow or not. I feel like that's
I want to
something
say yes. I want to say yes.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
If you didn't, you probably should have.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm surprised you didn't have warm milk this morning, to be fair.
I was awoken early and without the possibility of asking for it. And I had to make do on my emergency backup milk supply. A carton out of my robe.
Timidar produces mysterious milk.
My own special spell, Timidar's Mysterious Milk.
Oh my.
Level 1. Swap out chromatic orb for it. So
Okay.
yeah, I go get my special pillow. And
Yeah,
I'm not leaving that
let's all
behind.
wander upstairs and get our bits and pieces that we left behind in the room. Gather up Kuji. What's Kuji doing when we get into the room?
Kuji's just sat fairly happily on one of the beds, not really doing anything very much. Looks like she's just a bit lost in thought.
Standard hotel room.
Kuji. Glad to see you're well. Did you sleep well last night after the events?
Yes, it'll do. It'll do.
Oh, good enough. I hope you're ready to travel. We have a path set ahead of us.
Are we going to the observatory?
Yes, we're going to try and find it at least.
Ooh. Kuji is ready.
Excellent.
So it's about... So on our maps, there's 2 villages that it could be. And they're both about a day and a half from here. So if we leave now, we should get there sometime tomorrow.
Okay.
Gather up all of our stuff. 3 of us taking jars with us.
Joke's on you all, I don't have to carry so much. I suppose I could have filled it with milk, I suppose, but that's...
I am going to find a use for this jar to carry stuff in my pack.
Recognizing the utility of the moment, Silic pulls out the map scraps, undoes his jar, pops them in, pops the lid back on, and that's where the pieces are going to go for safekeeping. He'll hang it off of his belt so that it's it's visible. If anybody else needs to grab it, it's right there.
See, we're all making use of our jars.
I made good use of my jar.
Jack hasn't used their jar for anything yet. But they're like,
Silic pokes his head out the window. Is the jar still on the floor outside? Or the pieces of the jar, at least?
No, it looks like somebody's been by and swept it up.
Okie doke.
They heard Timidar shout it.
My complaints are being taken seriously.
Think of the safety!
Well, it looks like the aftermath of your wanton destruction's been swept away, so I guess there's no remnants left of your particular jar, but we'll make use of ours.
Have we got... Because Kuji had a jar as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of dragged her through. Have we made sure she has like some sort of bag to carry her stuff in? Or is she just like wandering around in this one set of clothes with no bags and nothing with her?
She hasn't really got any stuff, has she?
Well, now she has a jar.
She has something now.
No, you have
suppose-
you have managed to keep her in sufficiently fresh clothing, and she does have a little bag that she had about her when she arrived.
Okay.
That's good.
At least she has something to carry. Yeah.
This may be an unusual question, Kuji, but do you have any skills or abilities that we might be able to help you with? Is there any piece of equipment, martial or otherwise, that might assist you in joining our little group?
Kuji sort of sits back, looks thoughtful for a moment, then just flicks a finger, and a dagger appears balanced on the tip. Kuji is fine.
Oh!
Vidar dives the cut. It's got a knife!
Just like, ooh,
Timidar-
pretty.
How did you get through basic training?
I too question this on
Went
many
through-
levels.
I went through the wizard. I was in the wizard half of the class. A lot less physical activity and a lot more reading of books.
And no sharp blade?
No survival training?
Well, I can survive perfectly well.
Aha.
Maybe this is why we go out and mix gods.
Yeah.
Yes, for that one person who slept their way through the survival training.
They were carried through survival. They were the.
Literally.
Almost literally. This one's dead. I'm not dead. I'm just sleeping.
Get up then.
Endurance.
Well, Kuji, if you're fully equipped, much as we had no idea, I suppose you're all set. If everybody else is in agreement, then we should make haste.
Yes. Let us go.
Head out.
Gather your remaining bits and pieces and head on out.
Jack singing the song as usual. I won't sing a Christmas song at you, don't worry.
Thank you.
The thought did cross my mind. I went, no. I have to suffer them enough.
I mean, you'd be relatively safe. There's nothing I can do to you from this distance.
No, I have to endure them enough.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So we're setting out
Mm-hmm.
east, we said?
North.
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 Yeah.
North, and one of the towns is just to the east of the road. Okay.
How far can we go before we have to kind of make a dedicated choice about which one of the two villages we're headed towards?
That's the full day and a half.
I say I would assume most of the way if they're that sort of.
Okay,
Yeah, both together. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll follow that path then. We'll follow the route on the map.
That's all fine.
And yeah.
Keeping an eye out for anything being
Different.
weird. Yeah, like the fish or the turnips.
Mm.
Something that just doesn't quite behave as you expect it should.
Looking out for odd plants and things.
Fish somehow with white scales instead of brown.
That's fine. So you start out on the road to the north. It's pretty easy going. It's a fairly well travelled road. There's a couple of carts past you, just carrying some grain and some turnips. One of them. About a couple of hours in, you hit the fork that you saw on the map, which is where the road forks off to the east, which is the direction you want to head into for Riverford and Greydale. It's effectively the point at which you are choosing whether you're going to head for the observatory or whether you're going to continue north to one of the other settlements.
I think we go for the observatory.
Yeah.
I thought we just didn't know which one of these two towns the observatory was in.
That's correct.
Have I gotten incredibly confused?
Yep. So there's a fork quite early on the road, and then at the end of your travel, or almost at the end of the travel, there's another fork, which is where you choose which village you're going to.
Okay, but you just said the choice was the observatory or the villages.
No.
Other settlement, not the two that are near the observatory.
I'm thoroughly confused.
Yeah.
That's fine. We'll just go along.
Your main quest is east. If you want to do a side quest instead, go north.
Okay, I wasn't aware of any side quest. Sorry.
That's just you haven't found any. There's always a side quest in D&D.
Right. Okay.
Let's go east.
Yep.
I want to know what's going on.
There's a big telescope. I want to look through it.
Okay.
I don't think any telescope. I think they just lie up on the ground and look up at the stars.
Oh, you could do that anywhere then.
But apparently seers use it. So there must be something different.
If memory serves, Kuji said that looking up from the ruins of this building, you could see different stars and perhaps a different set of information than you might otherwise, which was the reason why it was a place of interest.
Maybe it's got a certain patch of sky that's pretty.
Okay. So your watch is relatively straightforward. There's nothing terribly interesting. There's plenty of fields to be seen. You're still in one of the more productive terrains of this part of Varlastan, so it's still very rural, very much agriculture. As the road meanders along a bit, you hit a couple of small bridges, a little bit of a stream under them, nothing remotely the size that you've seen previously. And then you get towards what looks like the start of a wooded area, and it's getting towards the sort of time that you would look to make camp.
Just out of character, kind of. Who's got the best survival skills here? I've got a +4, so I'm thinking if anybody's looking for camp, maybe me.
I have +3.
I have a +2.
+1.
Okie doke.
Help you.
On that basis, then, Silik, recognising that the day is sort of drawing to a close and perhaps we're all a bit weary, looks around along the path and tries to spy any kind of indications of hollows or places that might be convenient for us to sort of sap a little campfire in a little circular camp.
Yep. Yes, bizarrely, it's not the ranger that's your survival expert. So much for stereotypes. That's fine. You can pick out a couple of fairly viable places. Looks like they've probably been used before. Just on the edge of the trees, with facing the road. There's enough space there for you to be able to have a little bit of a fire and get your bedrolls down without actually getting into the tree line, and without anyone having to roll out of the middle of the road in the morning.
Okie doke.
Nobody do that.
I see a viable campsite up ahead. I suspect we're all feeling a little weary after that long trudge. Shall we set up camp for the evening?
Yes.
Yar!
Well, I expect nothing less from you, Timidar, but if everybody's up for it, then let's get our bedrolls down and lay our heads for the night.
That sounds like a good plan.
I'll get dinner on the stove.
Okay.
I'll watch.
I mean, you could add the spices.
That's true, I could do that.
It's a very important job, Timidar.
Exactly. You have to get the seasoning just right.
Okay, well, you have to tell me when to put them in. Hang on, let's do this.
A little bit more pepper. A little bit more
Okay.
pepper.
Doing the old Salt Bay.
Yeah.
There we go. And now you stir it in.
You need me to roll for this?
No.
Food appropriately.
Well,
I mean, I could be mean and make you do a dex check to not accidentally fling pepper into Jack's eyes, but...
close enough.
Fine.
4. No, I got a 10 total.
And that's why I wasn't making you do a roll anyway.
Well, that's 50% of the way to natural 20.
There are funny failure possibilities, but there's no real mechanical reason to make you roll.
Well, rolling's fun. 10, anyway, so I think I didn't fuck it up, probably.
You did an adequate job.
How wild is the area that we're in right now? Does it feel like it would be sensible for somebody to keep an eye in case there's wildlife that might come wandering into camp in the night?
It's good practice. Sorry, Aria, go on.
Well, if Cole goes hunting, then there's at least some wildlife around. So
Whether that's
Hunting
just game
people.
or if it's animals that we might have to worry about is my concern. Because a deer wandering into camp, I suppose, might be a minor cause of concern just in terms of it might step on somebody while they're sleeping. But otherwise,
Jack.
I'm thinking wolves and other things that might come thinking we might be a good dinner because we're just laying there snoring.
That's a fair question. It would always be good practice, based on your training, to have a watch if you're camping overnight.
Okay. And we've done it so far. Okay,
You're
then
welcome
while
to
they're
decide
prepping
that
dinner,
you
then
don't want to follow
so
good
it's
practice, if you so wish.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
You're welcome to decide not to follow good practice, if you so wish.
Oh no, I'm a good paladin. So yeah, while Jack and Timidar are preparing the food, Silik's just going to say to nobody in particular, I suggest that we maintain the order that we've been doing during our previous camps and keep a watch overnight. Is there anybody volunteering for the first watch?
I'll happily do it.
Okie doke. And I suppose Timidar will let you have the longest rest as usual.
Well, then I'd rather either go first or last then. I don't want to get interrupted.
Well, last it is. Araya, would you like to... What's your preference? How weary are you?
I feel alright just now, so I can go second.
Oh, it's decided then. Yeah, on that basis then, we will have our dinner and get ready for bed and all the rest of it, I guess, unless anybody else has got ideas.
Jack will just tally up, dish out the food.
Get that hearty meal down you.
And there was Timidar saying he wouldn't find a little chef out of it.
Oh god. He needs a hat now.
Oh, look at me.
Little chef hat.
Okay, so you're going to settle down towards a night's rest. That's fine. So you all turn in, apart from Jack. Where are you going to sit for your watch? Are you staying by your bedroll, or...?
I'll do a little walk around little perimeter that we've got and just stare out and check all the angles and then just sit and listen for the rest of the night. Maybe try and write some little new songs for our little travels.
Okay. Your watch passes largely uneventfully. There's a couple of animal noises near you, but not so near as to be immediately concerning. Something big swoops overhead, but seems to carry on into the distance without much of a sound. You really just heard a couple of wing beats from it. But beyond that, it seems to pass relatively quietly into the darkness of the night.
Okay.
As my work draws to a close, I will go and gently wake up Mariah. Hello. Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
all right.
Nothing to report. It's being quiet.
Well, that's good.
Yar. Have a good one. I'm gonna turn in.
Sleep well, Jack.
And nuzzle into my bedroll and curl up nice and small and just be this little wee bundle near the fire.
Okay. Aria, how are you handling your watch?
I will get up and walk around every so often. Again, like Jack, do the perimeter check. Look to see if there's anything, like if there's any animals, like coming too close, things like that.
Okay. That's fine. You don't see or hear anything terribly interesting while you're on your little patrols. Nothing really seems inclined to approach the fire. You hear a couple of owl hoots a little way away, but nothing to report really during your couple of hours.
Before I go to wake up Silic, what is the sky like? Is the sky normal?
No, the sky is not purple.
Okay. It's fine. Just, last minute remembering to look up.
So suspicious. That's fine. So you're going to hand over to Silic.
Yes. Go over and knock gently on his shell.
Silic's head pops out of the shell. Oh, is it time for my watch?
Yep, afraid so.
And then arms and legs pop out, and he gets up onto his feet, kind of brushes down his chest a little bit because it's been on the floor, and says, anything to report?
Nope, absolutely nothing.
Ah,
Jack didn't see anything either.
wonderful. Hopefully this will be an uneventful night.
Yeah,
I'll wish you a good evening.
Right, goes and lies down and stretches. Before then also curling up.
Silic, how are you conducting your watch?
Silic's going to start off and gather a little bit more firewood to sort of top up the fire, as it's getting into the early hours probably, and it might be a little bit weak at this point. Tops up the fire, but as he does, keeps an eye out and ears and eyes open, as it were.
There doesn't seem to be anything very thrilling going on. You top the fire up without any issue. You don't hear anything trying to approach. You don't really hear a great deal of animal noise. And the odd bit that you do hear is very definitely at a long distance. You wouldn't need to care about it in the slightest.
Okie doke.
And broadly, your watch passes without incident.
Okie doke. Okay, so it's the early hours, and Silic's, I suppose, after getting the firewood, he's sat and picked his claws and sharpened them and done a little bit of grooming, and is waking up Timidar now, giving him a little tap on the shoulder with his sharpened claw.
Is that time already?
Yes, I'm sorry, but it's your watch. It's beginning. Time for you to get up, Timidar.
I had a dream I was in a bathtub.
A bathtub?
It was on wheels.
Why?
I don't know, but we were rolling down a hill in it. It was all very silly.
What a bizarre scenario. You didn't see anything else in your dream, did you?
There's a bunch of old men hanging around, but I'm sure it's nothing.
No circles, no spheres breaking into pieces. No.
Well, only the usual amount.
So
You don't want to
Silic
be
is-
in here, man. It's fucked up.
Yes. Well, I will retire again myself, and perhaps, well, hope that I don't have similar dreams.
Yes.
Had enough of these visions passing before my eyes.
Feels like falling out of a tree.
Quite. Well, good night.
Leave.
Pop.
Well,
And he's arms and legs back in. Straight into just to the ground.
yeah.
So jealous.
If ever we needed a reason to try to license the Transformers noise.
Yeah, that was just like a full-on like.
How are you
Yeah, I've got more of it
conducting
like a popping noise, like it's.
Yeah. I'm not sure if my pop shit. We did this before, didn't
Pop
we?
filters blow
Yeah.
Yeah.
immediately.
I can't remember if it was on this or if it was Star Trek, but there was a lot
it
of
was on this.
yeah.
But yes,
Pop
so
filters doing their jobs.
your watch, Timidar.
I will start eating
Okay. What
a
are you going
hearty
to
breakfast. I don't know whatever it's about. Really, I'm gonna. I know. I'm just gonna.
As long as it's
No,
not
just-
another moth.
No, I've learned my
Oh,
lesson from the
grass.
moth.
Yeah, that was
I'm
bad.
gonna pull out a little kind of squashed ration thing that was in my bag and just sort of chew it aimlessly as I kind of just stare off into the middle distance.
Was
Wondering.
Jack's stew not enough for you then?
Well, that was presumably by this point a good few hours ago.
It's very true.
So yeah, I'm just gonna sort of stare off into the middle distance, wondering what brought me here.
That seems reasonable. A little
Yeah.
bit of an existential crisis to end the
Yep,
evening.
standard morning. Existential
Wake
crisis.
again.
Yeah. I'll awake, but at what cost?
Can relate.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not unaware of my surroundings. I'm just sort of not. I'm not doing a walk around. I'm just kind of keeping an ear out, I guess, if I have ears.
That's fair enough. You notice the rustle in the undergrowth near you, and
Ray of Frost.
okay.
That I'm not unaware. I'm just.
Make a roll.
14 to
Intimidar
hit.
traumatized a rabbit.
I got 14 to hit.
Okay. What's your damage?
I roll 1 point of damage. Frost damage.
There is a disgruntled squeak from the undergrowth. You can hear something moving away again.
See,
You've successfully deterred some sort of small creature.
I'm
doing
defending the
something.
camp. There's a cantrip. I can do it all I want.
Note to self: never sneak up on Timidar.
No.
There's a hair trigger on that ray of frost.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting there, I hear rustling, just like, yeah, finger guns sort of thing. I don't think we really established whether I cast out my staff or not. Yeah.
Okay, duly noted. Timidar is literally the anyway I started blasting meme.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, I
Heard a
shot
rustling
first.
in the undergrowth and not about to get snuck up on by anybody.
Okay. Well, that critical danger to your existence averted. Your watch resumes without anything particularly interesting happening. As it starts to draw light, you hear somebody starting to move what sounds like a cart a little way up the road.
No, don't worry.
But you can't see them. You can only hear the noise of the cart creaking.
Okay. I keep my head down and go see if I can see anything through the gloom.
It sounds like it's moving away from you.
You didn't hear it approach.
Nope. No, you should hear it start to move, but you couldn't see it.
Okay. But it's been here this whole time as well.
Possibly. You are still in an area that is inhabited, so.
It's just you only said I heard it moving away. Yeah. Fair enough. My suspicions are raised. Has somebody been spying on us from a cart this whole night?
Okay. But with dawn, that should be more or less the end of your watch, Timidar. I recommend not using Ray of Frost to wake the rest of the party.
You can recommend it all you like, but
Very careful.
I use prestidigitation to create some faint musical notes that wake everybody up. It is in the spell description.
Yep. That's a perfectly good use of prestidigitation.
Sounds an awful lot like doom doom doom.
Only the most tedious of alarms.
Yeah. It's the morning.
Okie doke.
Poppy's head through the bedroom will be like, why is there music?
It's this morning.
Oh, it's you doing that. Okay.
Oh yes. Yeah. See.
I was very confused.
Araya wakes up really slowly and just blinks.
And Silic, you can see his shell starting to rock kind of backwards and forwards. And it kind of builds momentum until it flips over. And then he pops his arms and legs out and just goes,
You're now trapped on your back.
because he's got long legs, so he's not like an actual turtle stuck on his back. Instead, it's just like, no,
I was going to say, earlier on, Jack gave you some chocolate, and turtles are definitely allergic to chocolate.
Are they? I did not know that.
He's a turtle, not a turtle. So turtles can deal with that, I guess. At least in this instance.
Sure, why not?
I did not realize that turtles are allergic to chocolate.
I quickly googled it when you did it because I thought, well, this would be quite funny. And yeah.
And yeah, hop up then, and oh well, it seems it was quite an uneventful night. Timidar, did anything happen while we were sleeping?
A potential attacker approached, but I deterred them.
Attacker?
Yes, they came from those bushes over there. And then I heard
Pulls the weapon off of his back.
later I heard a cart moving away, so it's possible we were under observation the whole night from close by and nobody heard them approach. I suspect ninjas.
Art?
I mean, they could have been other travelers.
Yes, but I didn't hear them approach. I only heard them moving away.
What if they were ahead of us to begin with?
I've never been very good at these logic puzzles.
Well, perhaps they'd stopped a little ways further down the road for the night.
Yeah.
How
they
long
were
ago
probably
was it that you
scattered.
heard this noise?
Well, it was still dark, and I didn't see any lights, so I've never heard of a horse-drawn cart sitting off in the dark. Admittedly, I don't really pay much attention to cart headlines, but
It could be a farmer heading to a market.
either way, best to keep a close eye on any signs of. Look, all I'm saying is we gotta keep our heads on a swivel here, because there's people out here looking to just the slightest opportunity.
Okay, we'll do that. Let's have
Think
some
the others-
breakfast.
I think the other three of us just kind of look at each other like, let's just not argue.
He's
not
being
gonna
paranoid
work.
again.
Yep.
Being
let's not
paranoid.
have
Ah.
Let's just humor the paranoid dragon.
Let's just have breakfast. I'll make you some hash browns.
I do like hash browns, but it's not paranoia if I'm right.
Well,
Never said it was.
We'll keep a lookout for some tracks, perhaps, when we get back to the road, and if there's any indication of nefarious ongoings, then of course we'll handle it seriously. But for now, hash browns sound delicious.
Is anybody
go
going
make my
to
hash browns.
investigate the potential attacker that was deterred?
Yes. Which bushes was it, Timidar?
Those ones.
Goes over.
You can see
Are there
they're
any-
all frozen where I just quick thinking, quick.
Yes.
Gonna take a
Oh.
lot more to sneak up on me than. Gotta get up pretty early in the morning. Because I'm usually still asleep.
Can I see any footprints or anything?
You can see the line that his spell carved into the undergrowth. You can see a little way behind that the partly frozen corpse of a very small field mouse.
Wee tiny
Mariana goes and picks it up and carries it back to the group and is like, This is what you killed.
No doubt, an unintended collateral casualty of
Are
the
you sure?
true
Or did
attacker.
you just-
Look, I heard a rustling in the undergrowth, and
And shot a
Just-
field mouse.
That's really small.
lots of things are small and are just as deadly.
Well, I suppose I'm quite deadly and small.
Proving my point.
But it's a field mouse.
This time.
It's harmless.
Now.
Okay.
Whereas before he might have been sneaking up on us with a... Look, I didn't know it was a field mouse.
Thank you for your diligence, Timidar.
As I said, it could have been ninjas sneaking up on us. Maybe he was... they were sneaking up. I fired off my spell. It spooked them. They got back in their cart and effed off.
That is a theory.
Possibility? Yeah.
You can't prove a negative. It's very hard to anyway. Prove me wrong. Go on.
Jack's gonna just continue making hash browns.
Yeah, Silic's
I
paying
might burn
attention.
these. Oops.
Silic's paying attention to the hash brown production process very, very attentively. He's just
Yeah.
trying to channel out like.
Jack's
yes.
showing him how he makes his hash browns. So you do it like this, and then you get your potato, and then you roll it, and you make it into a little, see, like that. And you try, Silic. You try and make a shape.
Silic does that. um,
We're just ignoring Timotaro. Like, yeah, we're just letting him ramble on. It's fine. We'll make breakfast.
trying to think. Does Silic know his own strength? To some extent, I think maybe not. And gets the hash brown and is squashing it and gives it a little bit too much of a squeeze, and it kind of comes out between his palms. And he looks
no!
to Jack like she's made a massive mistake. Like, perhaps it's best I leave the food preparation to you in future. And he kind of offers the handful of mashed pieces.
Jack kind of like, that'll be your one then.
All right. Yes, I suppose. He kind of tries to like scrape as much into like the ball as he can.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody squishes the first one on the first try. It's okay. That'll just have to be your one, so you learn your lesson.
A lesson learned well.
Not so much pressure.
Well, no, more like let Jack make the meals from now on. Well, let's have our breakfast and then get onto the road and see if we can find perhaps some tracks from this mysterious cart and get on our way.
Jack passes out breakfast.
While we're eating, I want to ask Jay how she slept.
Yeah, so sleepy. All sleepy.
Okay, that's good. Quiet, but good.
Quiet tonight is good night.
Yes. Unlike last night, the night before.
That was eventful.
That was disturbing.
To say the very least.
Oh well. I guess we should pack up camp and get moving.
Okay. The other thing that you've noticed while you've been sorting out your breakfasts is that you feel more powerful today than you did yesterday. After today's session, you will level up to 3.
Ooh.
However, for the moment, you break camp. Are you leaving the field mouse behind you?
As a warning.
We'll leave it behind us, and it shall be food for something.
The circle of life continues.
Okay. Are you going to do anything else before you continue your journey up the road?
We'll snuff out the campfire.
Did we decide which village we're going to go to first, or are we just going to go to the first one that we come across?
We've got at least half a day
Yeah.
before we need to decide.
Okay.
And I think as we set off, we should have a look for the art mart. If we can see where they passed the night, there might be some clues as to who it was.
Timidar, you're gonna get your wish. We're gonna snoop.
Okay, so
I'm just trying to protect us all.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but you all treat me like I'm some kind of crazy person.
Sometimes you're a little crazy. Just
Well,
a little bit.
Yeah, I'm the only sane one here.
The only one dreaming about rolling down a hill in a bathtub with wheels.
He had that.
Would the
Why?
water just splash out?
I don't think the bathtub was full.
That doesn't change the context of the bizarre dream that you told me about. I'm
Please
sorry
tell
to
me
throw you
what
under
it
the
was.
cart, as it were, in front of the rest of the group, but it was a strange thing to remark on. And
You
you'll
woke me
excuse
up. I was telling you what I was dreaming about.
It's fair. We've all had our share of dreams recently.
Might have been important.
Well, I don't suppose... Well, are you sure it was a cart?
No, it was. Oh! You mean not in the dream? Okay.
Yes. I mean, I can't believe I'm asking this of you, but there was no indication it was a bathtub.
No, it sounded like a cart.
Oh,
Wouldn't even know
Suppose
what
we
a
should
bathtub
keep
on
it in
wheels
mind.
sounds like.
if anybody sees a bathtub on wheels out here, then I suppose we'll not take it as portent, but...
You better steer clear of it, is what I'm saying. No brakes.
I mean, it would be fun.
I think that's the first time you don't hear Timidar advocating for no brakes.
No, different spelling. Quiet, narrator. I need my brakes. It's in the union rules.
Oh,
I need to see these union rules.
Yes, you need to talk to your rep.
We don't have a union.
That's what I'm
the-
saying.
That's
the
a problem.
order is fair.
Mostly.
We've no reason. As those words came out of his mouth, to Felix catching himself. Well, faith in the circle must be upheld, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure upper management has our good interest at heart.
Of course.
Okay. It's 5 minutes up the road, around a curve where you couldn't have seen it yesterday. There's a closed gate on the right hand side. You can easily see that there are indications of fresh wheel marks in the earth, both sides of the gate.
This is where they parked.
Beyond the gate, is there anything visible? Is it leading up a trail? Is there a building up there, or is it undergrowth
like
and
it
trees and
leads-
stuff that we
yeah.
can see?
It looks like it leads to a farmhouse.
Well, it appears that cart that you heard may have been travelling out from this farm. What day is it today? Is it market day?
Depends which village you're in.
Very true. Could simply be a farmer on his way out to sell some produce.
Maybe that's what they want us to think.
Well, we've no reason to think otherwise for now. And Silic kind of spies towards the house. Is there any indication of anything untoward or unusual about this house, or is it just, it's a farmhouse?
No, at this range certainly you can't see anything that's remotely interesting about it. It's a very standard building. There's nothing remarkable to be seen.
Well, there's no reason to be thinking that people passing by in the night would have nefarious intent, and certainly...
Then why
Put your
even bother
abilities
keeping a
together.
watch? That's what I'm saying.
Because nobody wants to get their face mauled by a bear.
Hmm.
I mean,
Or up
I-
here.
I- either way, whichever you think of this, the sensible solution is to still keep watch. Whether it's because there is someone spying on us, or if it's only for wild animals, we still need to. It's the same course of action.
Look, I'm just reporting what I heard and then all, making out like I'm some, got to keep a sharp eye out. Could be anything.
There's only one of us killing small woodland creatures, because they're a little bit too jumpy, perhaps.
And it isn't the ranger.
No, because I could have told you what it was before I murdered it.
Look, I don't judge what you do on your hours of watch.
In fairness, our hours of watch have been incredibly dull. So,
Look, get off my back. That's what I'm saying.
it's
What's it
okay.
with me? You're all picking on me.
It's not intentional. Come now, Timidar. Let's travel on down the road and put this behind us, both figuratively and literally.
Come on, you can help me finish this song that I'm working on. I need help with the chorus.
Okay, what have you got for the verse?
Well, I wanted to talk about the fishes that we found and Kuji and Kuji involved, because Kuji needs her own song.
That doesn't rhyme at all. You need to work on that.
What rhymes with Kuji?
This is my problem. I'm not
Kuji.
Refugee? Yes.
Kuji was a Fuji from another plane. Fell through a hole in the turnip. With the turnip game.
See, this is why I need help.
There was another hole in the water spout. Would have been a lot easier if there'd been a drought. You tried to throw the lizard person through the hole, but you all said, no, Timidar, they'll drown down the hole. Look, I'm no
Oh,
wordsmith.
this is good. I'm writing all this down.
Yeah.
I'm writing all this down.
It's more of a rap than a proper song.
We can turn it into a song. It's all good. It's all good. These are all good ideas.
Yes. More of a story song than anything else.
A ballad.
Exactly. Well, we need to have a ballad for Kuji.
Well. Okay, well let's work on the chorus.
We'll carry on
Kuji,
walking into this.
She's a
We'll carry on.
lizard person. Kuji, she's a lizard person.
Oh, we found her in a turnip field. We don't have to. We don't
I can't remember the rest of the chorus. We go west. I can't remember.
At this point, it's going to be your homework.
Yes, I don't have enough on.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
It's fine, we can make it Amy's homework instead.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I've got enough to do.
We write a song as we walk.
As we walk, we will write.
What?
We're
Whilst
throwing
I don't-
ideas at each
Whilst
other.
I'm not going to make it anybody's homework, if between you want to put that together,
I've got 90 minutes of orchestra music to write before next Thursday, man. That's not happening.
we
I'm
can
going to be
give it-
real with you right now.
we can put it out in the World Ember prose section.
We'll try.
So see how
I'll
we-
try. I'll try to do something.
If you don't
figure out a
come up
couple
with
of
it, that's
stanzas,
fine
maybe.
too. But if you do happen to manage that between you, then we can release that publicly. You don't have to sing it. It's only going to be words. It's fine.
Gonna rap a bit.
Don't
I've got some
encourage
beats.
me.
Hang on, I got some
Don't
beats. I got
encourage
some,
me.
put some beats going.
Don't encourage
As you
me.
work on your song, however, you're trailing up the road. It's not
Timidar
very
can't beatbox,
interesting.
I will say, because he
It
hasn't got
looks
lips.
the same. Sorry, Timidar.
I said I can't beatbox, by the way, because Timidar doesn't have lips.
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
So you've woodlands on the left-hand side of you for a lot of it. It's a continuation of the agricultural land on the right-hand side. It's nothing special, but there's also nothing to worry about as you're carrying on. You haven't yet caught up to a cart. Lunchtime comes and goes. Is there anything else that you would like to do while you're walking?
Beyond looking for any unusual signs of weird wildlife or discolorations, weird oddities, no, I don't think Silic's looking for anything else.
Okay, that's fine. So another couple of hours of walking brings you to a very clearly marked fork in the road. And that will bring that shows you that you have now the choices of Riverford to your south and Greydale to the east, which is two villages you were looking for.
Oh, which do we want to try?
I say we flip a coin.
Well, before we throw things to chance, Kuji, is there any... Do you recognize any of the land around us? I appreciate that this may not be the same as where you've come from exactly, but there appears to be parallels. Is there anything familiar around?
And Kuji looks around, trying to orient against her memory. Not sure.
Well, perhaps we do leave it to fate then on that basis. Unless anybody has a particular preference or are either of the names of our destinations, Riverford or Greydale, calling to anyone?
Well, if there's an observatory there, maybe Greydale.
What makes you
Good
think
for-
that?
Well, you know, it's grey, it's sort of dark, and I don't know. Maybe they've got some ale there. I know you guys are all into that.
And you stick with your warm milk.
from dubious sources.
I've never tried grey ale before.
That didn't sound very nice to me, to be honest, but that's... You do you.
I believe it's traditionally served with grey pie, but that's a very specific reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one for our West Midlands viewer. I assume there's only going to be one statistically.
Okay. Shall we try Grey Ale then?
Grey ale it
Yeah.
is.
Yep. Let's go.
Okay.
Which direction is that?
That is
It's east.
Is it?
East. Let's go east.
Okay.
Okay. The road leads you east. It fairly quickly starts to climb. You're definitely getting into the edges of some hills now. And as you move, starting to slow down as the hill gets a little bit steeper. You can hear what sounds like a reasonably sized group of people. You can't see them; they're probably on just the other side of the hill, but there's definitely people around.
Can we distinguish any of what they're saying, or are we still too far away?
As you get closer, you should be able to start to pick it out. Mainly, it seems to be there's a couple of people who are arguing about the quality of something. You don't quite catch what, but there's definitely a dispute about some sort of goods.
The quality of the ale, perhaps.
Can we try and get over more quietly and see if we can work out what's going on?
You can try.
Sneak, sneak.
Who would like to sneak for me?
I would like to sneak.
Yeah, definitely not Cynic.
Yeah.
I would like to sneak and
Okay.
listen.
You give me a stealth check then.
Come on, D&D Beyond. Six.
I would just be right back. Oh, sorry.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Jack stumbles, trying to get up closer to hear them, and thuds onto the hilltop. Nobody appears to have noticed. There's no break in the conversation. You think you might have gotten away with that one.
I need to follow AJ's lead there. 1 second. I'll be right back.
No bother. That's fine. It's a Jack scene.
Ha!
So
I'm gonna
you-
try and get back up and
Yep.
try
can
and do that again.
Yeah, you're fine. You can pitch yourself up and move closer to the edge of the hill. There's maybe 4 or 5 people. It sounded like a lot more than that. But there's effectively a couple of people arguing and a couple of people muttering near them. It seems to be a dispute about what's in some baskets. You can't see the contents. But they're definitely, it's very much a. But they were supposed to be good, and they're not. We had a deal.
Jack will just quietly wander back and tell the rest of the party.
It just looks like a they're not happy about the deal and they're quality of it is not bad. Hello, kitty.
This is the other penance cat. If I let him down slightly, you can probably hear him purring.
No, we can't.
No.
Discord does not pick it up. He is currently angry because I have not let him go out into the cold, horrible, nasty weather.
Oh,
Mean
oh,
cat,
cruel
Lizzie.
mum that you are.
I know, I'm so mean. You go.
So, well, I'll wait till AJ. They've all got their headphones on.
Right, sorry about that.
Don't worry.
Trying to be subtle as possible.
Jack went over the hill and found that they were discussing there was a disagreement over goods in baskets.
Right.
That they had a deal and that the quality wasn't good.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what they're arguing about. And Jax came back and told them.
Okay.
Okie doke.
I was never away.
Wonder if they're having the same sort of issue that Plista was having, where there was only one set of turnip shared between the farms on both sides.
Oh, maybe.
Well, perhaps we should simply ask them. There's no indication that these are untoward sorts, is there, Jack?
No, they just seem to be arguing about the produce or whatever they have in their baskets.
Well, I suggest we identify ourselves as members of the circle and try to find out what the issue is.
Lead the way, paladin man.
Let's go. Let's go see.
Certainly. And Silic kind of... Did you say it was like a little hill to go over the top of to find these people?
Yeah.
Okay, so Silic kind of lumbers over the top of the hill and waves as he reaches the crest and goes, "A good day, gentlemen!"
Brian
Jack's gonna be the
Blessedy.
same. Jack's gonna be the same, just behind his legs, just going, "Hello."
As you crest the top of the hill, you realise that you can't hear the conversation anymore. And you look down, and there's nobody there.
Gentlemen!
Ninjas.
Hello! Silic kind of calls out, thinking what on earth could have happened. Where did they go?
I don't think we should get too close yet.
Could it be that we were hearing people from the other plane?
Oh. Like they were briefly here in our bit,
Yeah,
and then they went back? Is that what you're meaning?
maybe.
Fell through some kind of space hole.
Hmm.
How about two of us go down to where you saw them, and we'll see if anything happens. Like if when we get there, if anything's different.
Sure.
Or
I
if
can
we,
do that.
Disappear or something.
Who wants to come with me?
Well, as I'm here up ahead with you, I'll join you and we'll brave and see what's down there.
Okay. 1 foot at a time.
Yes, allow me to lead the way.
Okay.
And Silic kind of confidently walks towards... As he's pulling a weapon off of his back just to be ready. And as he's going down the hill, he's like, "Hello? Is there anybody there? We heard you talking. You don't have to hide from us."
Hello, Mr. Merchant.
Okay.
We saw you earlier. Are you playing hide and seek?
Turn to Aria. This feels like a trap.
It certainly is very suspicious.
Just, keep your wits about you.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. So there's no response at all to Silic and Jack shouting at the disappeared people. Down the next hill, you can see there's a cluster of houses, what looks like an inn, and the inevitable roundhouse. It doesn't look like any of them are close enough to hear the noise you're making, but it's probably not very far before they would be able to hear your shouts.
Where the guys were stood talking previously, are they stood on the kind of ground where we'd be able to see footprints or anything like that? Any remnants of them haven't actually been there?
They were stood sort of just to the side of the path, so there's a little bit of grass, but nothing, it's not muddy or anything like that.
Okay. Even so, given Silic's got a lot of capacity in survival, is there any indication of grass that's been downtrodden recently? Because it's literally moments ago that they would have been there, so there should be some kind of indication on the ground to a keen eye. Is there anything along those lines, or would you like me to roll? Or
I'm not going to make you roll. There's nothing that you can discern that suggests there were people standing in that space.
Okay.
So it's if they weren't even there at all.
Okay. Seeing that there's nothing much on the floor then, and there's no indication that they were actually there, Silic kind of looks back up the hill towards Araya and Timidar and shouts, "There's no sign that there was anybody even here! Looks like there's something amiss!" And he waves them down the hill.
I don't like this. Because I saw them. They were standing there.
Yeah, they were, but...
Got my staff out and I'm ready to shoot spells at anything that looks even slightly weird.
Lock up your pets.
I take it there's no kind of there's nothing obvious around us. There's no, where we've interacted with kind of things passing between realms previously, there's no indication of glowing lights or anything along those lines that would indicate a portal or a passage or anything like that.
No, there's no none of the purple tinged space that you've seen previously for weird goings on.
Okay.
Can I sense any arcana?
You can try.
Because there was some of that around previously. Yay, I get to use my new dice. And it tells me nothing. 7.
Oh.
Yep. You are confident that there isn't anything for you to know here.
Well, I guess we head into the village and see if they have... Should we bring this up to the villagers? Or should we...
Perhaps we should play it by ear and see if there's anything locally being talked about already of strange voices or visions of people that aren't there moments later.
Yeah, I'd maybe not outwardly say it, but just say, yeah, just curious noises and voices we heard in the woods, and just odd.
Yeah, we might
play it off a bit like that, but not.
Perhaps if we inquire about the quality of goods locally, if there's been any issue, and try and take the information we got from their conversation and see if it leads somewhere.
Good idea.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Well, perhaps there's a market stall or somebody that would know about these things. And at the very worst, we can visit the circle member and find out if they know of anything in the area.
It doesn't look like it's a very big village.
No.
But it must be a decent size if it's got a circle representative, surely.
One would think.
Oh well, I'm sure we'll find out.
Let's keep our eyes and wits about us. Eyes open, even, and wits about us. And then head in to the village, then.
Before we walk down the hill, do we see anything that might look like... now we've got a wide view of it. Does anything that look like it might be an observatory building? Also, downhill doesn't strike me as a great place for an observatory, but...
On the far side of the village, you can see on a bit of jutting rock, there's a small tower with no roof.
Right. Well, that does look promising.
Kuji, does that look anything like the observatory in your world?
Kuji looks across and it's like... Similar. Tower same? Place not same.
Okay. That's interesting.
Maybe these are details we should have gotten before, but what kind of place was the observatory in?
Was higher.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, see?
Well, we should check it out anyway, just in case. But it might be that Riverford is where we should have gone. But we found another mystery here, so that might be connected.
Well, people disappearing into thin air certainly begs a lot of questions and seems to fit the theme of what we've been witnessing so far.
You're muted still.
Did not realise. It's a bit weird with everybody disappeared and reappearing, though. It's a bit sinister.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily too worried about any people that come over from the other plane, because, well, Kuji did, and Kuji's lovely.
But that doesn't guarantee that everybody's going to be lovely.
You can't trust. That's always going to be the case.
No, but most people are good.
Most, yeah. But we do get troublemakers now and again.
Yeah, there's some absolute psychos out there.
I mean, I haven't met any, but...
You hear the stories, though. People go crazy and cut off faces and make jam out of people's blood, things like that.
Everybody's just looking at Timidar with a weird go like, what?
You hear stories, that's all I'm saying.
I don't know what kind of stories you're listening to.
Fucked up ones.
Apparently so.
So the wizard, the magic side of the order training is very different.
I've said too much.
Or at least the bards in Timidar's hometown tell some crazy stories.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is they told me to be prepared for some weird ass shit out here, and apparently you people weren't told the same.
We don't deal with magic.
Well,
But I started.
you're walking around with me, and I have to deal with it apparently. So
Yes, I'm starting to think that there might be more going on than we were told. Could we really be the first people to have seen this?
I mean...
I would hazard to guess that this can't... I mean, everywhere we're going so far, there's something amiss. I'm finding it strange that the Order Master in the last village didn't have anything to say themselves of anything unusual going on. It seems that they've, I don't know, avoided it somehow.
Well, that would be tricky, seeing as how they go out hunting. They should have come across like
blood jam.
equivalents of the fish with the white scales.
Well, perhaps we shouldn't tarry any longer then and make our way into the village to have a word with the Order Master and see if they have anything to tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, you're right. We're probably not the first people to see this. Everyone else is probably dead already.
Not helping.
Not trying to help.
Araya just looks at Timidar like,
We got to be real about these things.
but
There's being real and there's being.
kids.
Kuji was lucky they weren't cut in half by a closing portal between worlds.
Yeah, like the one you were going to push her through and drown her at the same time.
Throw her through quickly. You know, look, it's not an exact science.
Because doing it quickly makes a difference.
Well, yeah, 'cause I mean, if it's puckering open and closed or whatever, then you got to be quick and throw her through.
I see.
Whatever the equivalent of an eyebrow is that Silik's got is very much raised right now.
I made myself laugh with puckering there.
That's
I would have gotten
That's
away with it, but
what-
when he got these webcams on, and the immediate look I got back just broke me. Sorry.
The trial for tonight is at 2.
That's what got me.
We should perhaps see if there's been talk of any other magical orifices around here.
Walk in the village. You got any magic holes around here? Yes. Well, yeah. Sorry, I almost went into Silik's voice there. Yes, let's go. Let's go inquire.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh man.
So you're going to head down into the village. It's starting to get dark. You can see the roundhouse where you'll find the local representative. You can see the local inn, which is seems as you get closer to just be called the Climbing Man. And it looks like there's been some people setting up for market day, which suggests that might be tomorrow.
Oh, that's good timing.
Ooh, that would be nice to look around.
Maybe those merchants were on their way to market day, and now they're someplace else.
Well, either that or one of these merchants is the one that passed us by in the night.
Yes.
Let's ask around and see if anybody has witnessed anything untoward. Are there any conversations or any of the people that are working nearby that are kind of like bustling about? Is there anything we can pick up on as we're kind of entering the village?
No, the only people really bustling about at this point are the 2 or 3 people doing the setup, which they look like they're probably labourers from the local farms. One of them looks a bit more burly, perhaps. Up in the hills here, there's maybe a mine or 2 that people have drawn from as well. But it's very much a transitional town. It's definitely on the divide between the agricultural reaches and the hillier mining and animal rearing areas. You know, it's the sort of terrain where you'd see perhaps sheep, goats, that sort of thing.
Okie doke. Well, it doesn't appear that there's anybody around right now that's having. Let me start that again. Doesn't appear that there's anybody around right now that is reacting to anything unusual. Perhaps we should just head straight on to the Circle's house and have a word.
Okay.
Yes.
Onward then.
That's fine. You approach the roundhouse. The door is closed, and there's a sign on it which reads simply, "Gone out, back for market."
So they'll be back tomorrow.
Fair enough.
It's late in the day, isn't it? So I assume
Yeah,
they probably have gone
it's
home.
getting towards nightfall now, especially now that you're back down a little bit. You've got hills around you, and definitely stifling some of the light.
How far away is the tower from where we are right now?
It's on the far side of the village, but it's difficult to see how easy it would be to get to in the fading light.
Probably
Well-
best we look at that in the daylight.
So we should look now, though. If it's an observatory, if that is the observatory, potentially, much as it's in an unusual spot, we would perhaps glean the most information from it and visit after dark and perhaps see what can be seen.
It's true.
I mean, there's no harm in swinging by.
We can try and have a look at it, and if the path is really weird, then we can go up in daylight and stay there till night.
Let's try and find the route to the tower then, and make a decision perhaps when we've taken a few steps along that path as to whether or not we should continue.
Okay.
Okay. It looks like you need to go straight through the centre of the village. There isn't a road out on the far side, but there's definitely a trail up the side of the side of the rock face there, where you should be able to get up to the tower. It's not a very wide path. It's difficult to judge how sturdy it's going to be in the face of an entire group moving at once.
Go single file, I suppose.
Who would like to go first?
I can go first.
I mean, I have dark vision, so
That does help. Yeah, that would be helpful. Dark vision and decent depth would probably be useful.
well, why don't I just go just in front of you,
Okay.
and you can look over. I can keep an eye on the path, and you can keep an eye out for danger.
Okay. I will try to catch you if you go flying.
Thank you.
I'll cast a light on the end of my staff.
Okay,
I don't trust myself not to trip over.
that's fair. So, are you all going to attempt to get up this path? Or are you going to do a bit of a scout and then see how it looks?
I think we should let Jack and Araya take a few steps up the path, and then Silic and Timidar can perhaps follow on behind, knowing that it's a safe trail.
Okay.
Okay. Onwards.
Okay then, let's have a look. Jack. Can you please give me an athletics check with disadvantage?
Come on, D&D Beyond. 11.
Is that with disadvantage?
Yes.
I don't know how to do disadvantage on this.
Relative
Just roll
to
twice and take the lower.
number.
Oh, okay. That was 11, and then 11 again.
11 it is. The path's okay from your point of view. It's a little bit crumbly. It's not very even. You could get up it. You'd have to. It would definitely take you some concentration, especially with the light being dubious. Because what you really need is a full contrast when you're looking at it to be able to pick out the dangerous spots. You probably feel 60 or 70% sure you could get up there just now.
But if he feels like that way, then he's like,
It might not be a good idea for everybody else to come up right now. Not in this light. It's a bit. I'm confident to do it, but I'm not too sure if Timidar and anyone bigger might manage it safely. This might be a job for the morning, guys.
Well, we needn't take needless risks. Suppose we should head back to town and see what the local inn has to offer.
I mean, if it's just because of the light, my light spell is bright light in a 20-foot radius, dim light for an additional 20 feet.
Yep.
Which I've cast on the end of my staff.
Which will come.
I can cast.
Which will come then from behind.
Well, I can cast on something else as well. It's at will, a cantrip. But I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
if Jack wants to hold up something.
I can find a stick, sure. Have a little torch. Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking if it was just the lighting that was the problem, like that's a solvable problem.
I'm happy to go up if other folks want to go up.
Well, with Timidar's assistance, I think that we should be able to chart a course up this hill.
Okay.
We've all got torches as well, so I don't know. Like, I would assume.
Yeah, torchlight wouldn't do you any better than dark vision.
Yeah.
It's really that natural light which mage light will directly replace. That's the gap between confidence and certainty.
okay. Jack will get a stick then, and
All right. Give me a light. Hang on.
I have a star on the end of my stick. Alright, Jack will try and lead the way then, as best as possible.
Mind out for that rock.
Okay.
We mind out for the rock.
Yep. So with the magical light, it's relatively straightforward to call out the bits you have to be careful on. It is just about wide enough for all of you to get up one at a time. You wouldn't want to do it in a hurry, but you have the opportunity to take your time, so it's not any more taxing than anything else you have to take care while you're doing. I'm not going to make you roll to see if you fall off the side of a rock face on this occasion.
On this occasion.
So with probably 15 or so minutes of careful movement, you make it up the side of the rock onto quite a flat surface. The tower's just in front of you. You can see that it looks like probably nobody has occupied it for a significant period of time, maybe hundreds of years.
How tall is this tower?
From where you're standing, it looks like it's probably 20 or 30 feet. It's not.
Okay.
It's not a tiny tower.
A few stories then.
Aye.
What's the kind of the footprint of this? How big of a internal space is there?
It's a bit tricky to judge from the outside because you're not entirely sure how that's going to be laid out. But from what you can see, it's probably no more than 8 or 9 feet across. It's a very narrow tower.
Okay.
Can we get inside it?
It looks like you should be able to. There is a doorway. It looks like there was a door in it. It kind of sagging, sort of open. Somebody has put a sign up in front of it saying "dangerous building."
Quite the ruin here. Looks like it's not been used in some time. We should certainly proceed with caution given that signage outside. Looks like maybe the local circle leader has designated this off limits. Could be dangerous.
Kuji, does this still look like the one you know?
Yes, but no. Is old. Too old. And rock should be higher.
Yeah, so it should be on top of a hill rather than...
No. This rock.
Oh! Okay,
Same rock, not high enough.
that's interesting. I wonder if it got quarried away at some point. So this is in the same place, but the land is different and the tower is older. Okay. Well, I want to go in. I want to look up, see what we can see.
Yes, let's take some steps inside.
You want me to try and open the door? Or is it pushed open slightly?
It
It's
sounded like it was kind of a bit decrepit and falling apart.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
half
The door's
caved
falling
in or
off.
something.
Mhm.
Oh well, we'll just kick it then.
Let's open it carefully.
Falling down building, it's just kicking the door.
Yeah. Mm. How do you want to make rocks fall on your head?
Okay, fine. Open it gently.
Okay. So you all going in?
Get to chill out here.
Thinking. Given I've perhaps the most protection of us all, and given the likelihood that there could be a falling rock or some masonry that may decide that our tampering is, I don't know, enough, I volunteer to take the lead and take the first step inside.
You
On
said
that
it wasn't a very.
basis-
Sorry,
No,
go
no.
ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, you said it wasn't a very wide building either. Not particularly big.
Mm.
So maybe not all of us can squeeze in.
Mm.
You should all
Or
be
should
able-
squeeze in.
Yeah, you
I should.
should all be able to squeeze in if you wish to do so, but
We don't
Okay.
all have to.
Seeing
No.
as I'm the smallest, I should probably go in. But I'm also the squishiest. And I don't really want a rock falling on my head.
Well, I'm fairly good at jumping out of the way, so I will go in.
Okay, I'll wait
Yeah.
outside with Tiradar then. We'll watch your backs.
Okay. I'll take the first step inside then, and Araya, you step in behind me, and assuming that there's no danger, perhaps the rest can take a few steps forward. We'd certainly want Kuji to have a look around inside if it's possible.
Yes.
Okay. So, Silic, you step in. Everything seems to be okay. It seems to be safe enough. There doesn't seem to be any internal masonry trying to jump on your head. There's not a great deal to be seen around you. It looks very much like it's probably been picked clear by local residents over the intervening period.
Is there a stairway or a route upwards through the tower that's visible?
There doesn't appear to be one of any kind.
Are we talking about like it's kind of like a stripped interior that it's just like the shell of the building is what's left, or is there any indication of like floors above us that perhaps have started falling apart or anything like that, or is it just a clear route up to the sky from like the bottom?
You can pick out the hints of what would probably have been the holes in which joists were slotted, but it looks very much like the internal fabric of the building is long since decayed.
Turning back to Araya then, Silik says, well, it looks safe enough, but we certainly won't be climbing this tower. Looks like it's been, well, as we guessed from the outside, out of use for some time, and there's certainly no stairs or anything left inside here that's going to allow us to climb up.
No. Araya is looking up, but is focusing on the sky. Does it look any different?
No, you don't see any difference as you step through the doorway. Seems to be the same sky.
Kuji, could you come in, please?
Kuji obligingly steps forward and looks inquisitively at the building, inside and out.
What do you think?
Definitely same building. Definitely wrong place.
Silik motions up to the sky above them and says, so there's nothing familiar about the sky above to you. You said that when you observed the sky from your observatory that you saw, well, what wasn't your sky when you looked up. Is there anything familiar in the celestial bodies above us?
She frowns. Is this your sky? Not what we saw, but this wrong place.
True. Okay.
Is there any indication, is there anything at all within the tower? Like you said, it's quite sparse and barren. Is there anything to indicate what it was used for once upon a time?
There really isn't. Your educated guesses are all along the lines of Mage's Tower. You know, some sort of astrological usage. It's a bit unclear. There are definitely things that you would recognise as being the sort of thing that is that you need a tower to do, but there's nothing really to go on in the absence of any interior detail.
Okey-doke.
The only thing really that you can see that's interesting now, especially as your eyes have now adjusted for it slightly, although they look to be very old and very inert, there are some very significant cracks further up the building.
It's not ideal. Oh. Since we're not entirely sure what it was used for, can I do an Arcana check?
You can.
See if there's any magic that reveal some of its previous usages. Ten.
Okay. Your knowledge of Arcana allows you to make a reasoned guess that this was probably a mage's tower of some description. It's not unheard of in the less agricultural areas to set aside little bits of land for research purposes.
Okay.
So it's entirely possible that there was a mage set up here with the village on hand so that they had things they needed. But they were being enabled to do some research of some kind. There's nothing in terms of a trace of anything. It's all far too old for you to be able to pick anything out in detail.
I'm not very much of a magician. Oh well.
Well, there's not much to glean from the interior of the...
We have a frozen Silic.
I was just about to say, I was like, is he
Just
frozen?
wondering if it was.
I blame your ray of frost.
No, that's a delayed reaction.
Fired it off and take some time to make it through that shell. But possible Eden's computers
That's fine.
crashed. That has
It gives
happened
me
on previous streams.
It gives me a chance to fix my mic stand because it's about to fall off.
That's fine, we'll take a moment.
So it's usually once per Jackbox stream that Eden's computer fully shits the bed and dies, and it has to restart. So it's possible that's what happened.
We have run a little longer than usual, so it's possible that it's that. Apologies to viewers, all of the cameras are suddenly messed up.
Not really. My computer froze.
That's alright.
Give me just a second.
We thought that's what happened.
Yeah, it's customary, at least once per day for some reason.
Has fit.
Just a second, and I will be right back on. There we go.
Yep, all fine.
Huzzah!
My apologies.
Not a problem.
The joys of technology.
Oh, yeah.
You were about to say something when you froze.
Yes, I was about to say, well, it's a shame that there doesn't appear to be anything within this tower that's given us any clear information, but with Kuji telling us that this is perhaps not the right location, and it may be in our best interest to head back into town, speak to the circle leader tomorrow, and glean what we can, and if need be, then we'll just move on to the other village and see what's there, but unless anybody has any suggestions.
Well, before we visit the market, because we've not been to a market yet.
Well, true. And given it's market day tomorrow, we might as well peruse the wares.
Isn't it just a farmer's market?
Well, it means we can pick up some good food for dinners.
Mm.
Some fresh
That's
produce
great.
is always better than rations.
Yeah. Yes, this is true.
I can make more hash browns.
You know, head back into the inn and see what you can do about some rooms then.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Okay. Managed to make it back off the rock face without incident. Again, a bit of care and attention is just about enough to get you away with it, with the aid of Timidar's incredible light.
Rock side project.
So you head across to the inn. The guy standing behind the bar looks up at you. Evening. Late for travellers.
Not that late. It's only just gotten dark.
It's late round here.
Similar to
Name's Old Buck. The Smart Pub. You needing rooms?
Yes, please.
Right. You want to pay before or after you've slept in them?
What's the rate, sir?
yes.
What does the 5 of yous? How many
Yes.
rooms do you want?
If you have a room big enough to capacitate all of us, then we're quite happy to spend time together, but otherwise, we can divide if need be.
1 room will do yous, no problem. It'll be $1.50 a night. Breakfast on the house.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Right. And he shouts over his shoulder. Here, Lord, you up here. Take these folks up to the big room.
Big room.
The gangly young man comes out of the back room, rubs his nose with the back of his hand, and grabs the key from under the bar. Follow me then. I'll see you up to the room.
Follow up. Trying to be quiet, since apparently it's very late round these parts.
Go to get their clocks checked.
I don't think they have clocks in these parts.
That's the problem.
Well, if it's a local farming town, I can imagine a lot of people need to be up very early, so I suppose this could be considered late for them.
25 to 7. I mean,
Tibidar, you're complaining about them going to bed early.
no, I'm not
for, like,
complaining.
a really long sleep.
No, I don't. Well, I'm not complaining. It's kind of stealing my bit, but I mean,
How is sleep your bit? Everybody sleeps.
everybody knows I'm I'm top tier sleeper, one of the best in the biz.
Perhaps when we finish our circle, you can request to be stationed here. It seems it might suit your demeanor.
You've won awards.
Around all these pretenders, no thanks.
Oh, hello.
The boy points to a door. This one's yours. Breakfast at 4, if you want it.
4.
How did I guess? I knew it was going to be 4.
What luck in the morning for breakfast?
Well, as you said, it is a farming town.
Sun's not even up then.
I suppose
No.
then. I suppose we should just go to bed then.
Like my dad said, it's late round here.
Well, it has been a long day of walking. I suppose I could try and drop off early.
Oh, come now. We've all had early starts in training.
Well, speak for yourself.
Okay, 3 of us have had early starts in training.
Wizard training started at 1 p.m. sharp every afternoon.
Suddenly, everything is explained.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I suppose we're not having to keep watch, so we'll manage.
Thank you very much. for showing us the room.
Thank you. Good night.
Good day to you.
He sees you all into the room. With some confusion, you hear the locks close on you.
I
There
don't
is a
like
window. It does appear to open.
I would like the locking of us in.
So, are we going to keep watch tonight?
Well, yes, it's a little unusual that the innkeeper would lock us into our room. Suddenly, I don't feel quite so restful.
I mean, I know I'm a little bit of a light-fingered gnome, but I'm not gonna go out and nick stuff. It's just
Silik
rude.
thumps on the door pretty hard. Hello? Why have you locked us in our room?
What if we
No
need to
answer
pee?
whatsoever.
Check under the bed.
Sorry?
Check
Is there-
any of the cupboards.
Is there some kind of chamber pot or something?
The window.
And to throw more things out the window.
We might have to lower you out the window.
If they leave me no other choice, then that window's
One of the cupboards does conceal
gonna be like a train
very
from Edinburgh.
rudimentary, bathroom facility.
Oh, thank God.
You're not quite reduced to having to throw things out of the window.
don't, hold your breath. You might throw the chamber pot out.
hand me that jar.
You are not getting hold of any more of those jars.
Oh,
I'm
dear.
disconcerted by the locking of the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are.
Okay.
Well,
Is there anything, any audible noise going on in the building?
Nope, it's very, very quiet.
I'm going to suggest that anyone that is sleepy tries to get some sleep. And
Look, you don't need to tell me twice.
okay, Timidar, go sleep. Kuji, you can sleep just now if you want.
I think
Okay.
Jack's gonna try and sleep as well because his little wee toddy legs have been walking all day.
I'm a bit tired. It's been a bit of a trek.
Well, I'm happy to stay up for now and keep watch with you, Araya. Certainly seems amiss that they would lock us in. And that barman was quite surly. He didn't seem very interested in our patronage.
Indeed.
What was that guy's problem?
It was late.
He's very Yorkshire.
Trouble up mill. Well, time to turn in. Yes. Gotta get out my special pillow and curl up. It's not like a body pillow. It's just like a nice pillow. I realize I said it then, like a sort of like
It wasn't
I
even in
get
our
out my
thought.
anime waifu body pillow.
It was going so
I
well.
have any
and
wizard
now you have an
waifu.
anime
Oh,
waifu
no.
body pillow.
Mistakes were made. No, it's just like it's like a nice pillow that Timidar has had for a long time, and it's his, the taste of home.
It's his duck feathered filled pillow.
Exactly.
You could have went with that instead of a body.
No, I specifically said it's
Not
not
a
a body
body
pillow. It's just
None of us assumed
None
it
of us.
was.
Oh, exactly.
The protestations make it more suspicious.
it's a nice pillow.
I think Timidar protests too much.
A little bit.
I have my
I think
head
he
down on my
secretly
pillow.
wants one for Secret Santa.
I have my head down on my pillow and I'm asleep.
Okay. So Timidar
Okay.
and Jack are going to sleep, and Silicon and Aria are going to stay up awake for a while.
Won't stay up too long. 4 o'clock is very early.
Didn't say we had to stay awake after breakfast.
This is true.
But are they going to turf us out of the room at 4 o'clock as well?
Oh, probably. Oh well, let's just pretend it's basic training again.
I'll keep watch by the door and keep my ear open if anybody comes wandering up on us in the night.
I'll stay under the window.
Okay.
Because if something comes in the window and then we can't get out the door, we are trapped. Right enough, the only thing that has come in windows at us are... Oh, this is after being up on that rooftop. Really?
Yeah.
Oh well, if I'm next to the window, I can keep an eye on the sky as well.
Good plan.
This is very true. And as the two of you settle in to start your watch, that is where we'll bring it to a close for the evening. It has been an interesting couple of days in Varlastan.
Yes.
We've got some curious things to look into, that's for sure.
Yep, definitely.
So many oddities.
Yeah.
Okay, does anyone have any final thoughts they'd like to share before we start the outro?
I'm good.
No.
No.
I think at the end of every session I'm more creeped out than the time before.
Good.
I said it wasn't a body pillow.
I was waiting for that.
You've spent too much time with Belry.
That is, yeah.
Can't even argue that one.
Nope.
I might need to go back through and clip that bit.
Oh no.
Just for Belry's benefit.
I just caught a fly in midair.
Oh, congratulations, you're the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've definitely
Weird
been
ending.
spending too much time with Belry.
Thank you, Hexgrid. I hope you enjoyed it.
And thank you to Manapot Studios for the raid. We try not to acknowledge these things while we're in mid-scene, but it's always appreciated.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for dropping by.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening as our cast explored Varlastan, its inhabitants and its secrets. We'd like to thank the Penance RPG sponsors, DnD5e.co.uk and Gemhammer & Sons Gaming, for supporting both the podcast and our other content. The Varlastan setting is built using World Anvil's excellent toolset, and we're releasing some of the setting content after the casters experienced it for themselves. You can check out the Varlastan Circle page on penancerpg.com for more information. You should be aware that we're currently releasing extra content as part of the World Anvil's World Ember challenge, so you should check it out from time to time through December to see what's changing. You can find the Penance RPG podcast on your favourite podcast app, and we're on social media at Penance RPG. Dragon and Amy are cast members from Penance RPG, and I assist behind the scenes. AJ presents, and Eden appears in Pretending with Dice, an actual play variety podcast available through all good podcast apps. The Varlastan Circle will not return in 2 weeks, as we'll be on Christmas break. Stay tuned on our social media to see what we might run as a one-off. So we will return in 4 weeks. To see the other streams that we schedule on the Penance RPG channel, please check the stream information below. Dragon, can you please choose as a raid target?
Yeah,
Good.
maybe.
Thinking about it.
Just checking something. Okay, we'll go for the one that I know as opposed to Nikolai Meow. No. So we'll go into Vic the Viking again. He is he is playing Borderlands 3 at the moment.
Okay. Please stick around and join the raid, and when we get there, please remember to double-click the streamer icon to make sure Twitch registers you as a viewer. And we'll see you again soon. It's good night from me, it's good night from them. Good night.
Bye.
And now the awkward wait for the raid to go through.